If you just keep chasing the small project and you're just chasing revenue, you're going to continue to attract that.
What if the very thing that's holding you back is actually your biggest breakthrough waiting to happen?
We've reached out to,
I think I counted.
over 150 architects. We've met personally, like face to face, 100.
We just had to put ourselves in the arena.
2 builders, 0 high-end experience, but they refuse to give up. In this episode, Harry and Jay from Ellson reveals how they went from doing carports and decks to landing opportunities with premium architects, and exactly how you can do the same.
Welcome to the Inspired Builders Podcast, your source for game-changing conversations with Australia and New Zealand's leading builders and industry experts. Each week, we deliver real stories and proven strategies from those who've been in your shoes. Ready to build something remarkable? Let's dive in.
Big thank you to both of you for coming in this morning. We've been chatting on and off for over 6 months.
Probably,
And just hearing what you guys have accomplished over the last 12 months, 18 months has been epic. And so one of the big reasons why I wanted to invite you guys on the podcast was to share the story, share the journey you guys have been on. I think it's going to debunk a lot of myths for people out there that make excuses, that just want it easy, they want it to fall in their lap and aren't willing to put in the hard work. But I think you guys, with what you've shared with me, and we'll dive in more today, with what you've shared with me, you put in the hard work and the reward will come.
Yes.
But it's not one day of hard work.
No, it's many many days of unknown. And,
Before we get into that, if we go back a little bit and just get a background story, can I hear from both of you what your background story is and how you guys came to know each other?
You start, Hazar?
So background story, like personally, just touching on me, was, finished school, pretty standard, didn't really know what I wanted to do, but fumbled my way around a bit and got into electrical trade. Did the apprenticeship, became an electrician for a very, very short period of time. Just through who I knew, I then managed to get myself into a contracts admin role. From there, progressed into project management, just through some connections I'd made and people leaving, coming and going. So I found myself in a project management role quite young, but learnt a lot, which then led into a sort of operations manager role for an electrical design company. Yeah. And I was just exposed to so much, like from project management, admin, HR, all the rest of it. Yes, that's sort of like my background and experience. So I try to avoid the sparky part. It's it's sort of, that's all the distant memory now, and a lot's happened since then. So that's like personally my background. I know, Jay, if you want to touch on yours, and then we can touch on us.
Jay, how about yourself? Yeah, your background story.
Started off as a carpenter, did my apprenticeship, worked with that employer for probably about 4 years. And then from there, I went to another builder in like high-end residential. And then I did jump around a bit just because I wanted to learn a bit more and experience a bit more rather than just getting stuck with the same person, just going through the same thing every day.
On that, because that's like hearing a lot from a builder's perspective about having guys they train up and then they move on, and there's different takes on it. Some go, you know what, if I train him up well enough that he can find work elsewhere, awesome. Some might be a bit sour about it. What's, in your opinion, when you were doing that moving, obviously you were pretty driven and wanted to seek this other experience. How long were you sort of spending at one place? So was there a trigger that goes, all right, I've learned what I need to learn here, or?
There was a period probably within like 2 years that I jumped around maybe 3 times.
Okay.
I was with a high-end builder in Brisbane. I was there for maybe a year and a half. And then an opportunity came to move down the coast. So then I got a job down the coast with a builder, which he was more of like commercial fit out and whatnot. So it didn't really align with me. And then I got a job with another builder, which we just didn't see eye to eye. Yeah. And then I learnt a lot though in that I was there for maybe like 4 or 5 months. I learnt a lot. Which I've carried over into this. And then from then we met up we started in probably 2022, I think.
Ellson did. We connected way back though, probably in like the late high school days, personally, through a mutual friend.
Ago?
So this through a mutual mate that Jay knew came to my school, and I became mates with him, and away we went. I think back when you were
sort
playing.
of just linked, yeah,
and then kicked it off. So really,
And so what you described there in terms of your background story, the goal was always carpentry, moving on to
100%.
builder.
Yeah.
For yourself, Harry, what was when you went into electrical and then you went more project management and that side of things? What were you thinking when you thought 5 years down the track? Where was your mind going back then?
That's a good question. To be honest, back then, in the early days, I wasn't even really thinking about what I was going to do tomorrow. But I suppose it just, like, being on the tools and electrical was sort of always something to me I had in mind. Like, I was fairly driven, that I could be like, get my trade and I can fall back on that. And I was just motivated to sort of, I suppose I did get stuck looking back at a couple of years there in that sort of corporate-ish ladder, like, just cool, contracts administrator, I want to be a project manager and like want to do this. And then, I just had an interest in, I was exposed to some other people doing their own developments and builders and that sort of thing. And it just, I suppose...
Sparked your interest.
Sparked an interest with me on the building aspect of things, but I lacked that building side and experience. Okay. And that's what leads to next, where we complement each other. So that was sort of what intrigued me. And I suppose I always wanted to sort of be driven to sort of run my own business in a way, and had that experience. So,
If we go that intersection, so you guys were on your own paths, and then 2022 met up, had a chat, and then what aligned there at that stage?
Well, we did a property development course, and I think Harry signed up for it first, and then he sent it to me, and then I was like, far out, this is insane. I want to learn this stuff. And we were sort of going down different paths. Harry sort of was looking at subdivisions. I was looking at, townhouses, that kind of, because I'm a builder. Naturally, I just gravitate towards that. And we were both doing this course. Like, it was literally just a no-brainer, I think. We sort of go, we're ringing up,
talking about the course.
Yeah, 24/7.
Just constantly talking about it. This is probably going back the course 2020.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years before we started. So it wasn't like, hey, let's do this course and like go into business together.
Yeah, right.
We were already good mates, and that course, I suppose, we pretty quickly, after a few phone calls and late night Zoom calls about the course topics and that sort of thing, we pretty quickly, I think, went, we align here with how we see things. And hey,
how good is it though when you have someone like that? 'Cause, like, I recorded a little video that'll go out next week, just yesterday, just about that, how important it is to get alongside other people with similar goals, similar sort of track, but just that you can bounce things off, that you can discuss things, and
having a sounding board.
100%.
There's so many times that wife's getting up me for being on the phone and whatnot. It's 8 o'clock at night, and she knows exactly who it is. But when you're in the trenches, 100%. If you're just by yourself, you know what I mean. It's just you. You can't really talk to your wife. I'm having these dramas on site or anything like that. But having Harry to literally bounce stuff off is like, it's key.
Vice versa. And I think back in the early days, the questions I had for Jay were leaning on your background, and then vice versa. And I think we went, hang on, like, where I lack, you pick up, and vice versa. We could be onto something here. So
I don't think it was like a light bulb moment or anything like that.
Nah, it just sort of naturally happened.
It naturally makes sense.
Yes,
exactly.
Literally, it just made sense. I think we never really went, hey, let's meet, like, let's do this. It was more just, progressed.
So then Ellson began, and what was the first project? Because we met after that first project.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, or maybe during.
Yeah, maybe
towards the end, maybe.
Yeah, it would have been maybe towards the end.
Okay.
But so we're doing some little stuff. I think Jade continued over doing some smaller stuff. When I say smaller stuff, just like carports, bathrooms, decks, that sort of thing. And then we, with that, touching on that development course we did, we thought we'd dive in head first and purchase a place to renovate in Ashmore, here on the Gold Coast, which we did. Yeah.
So that, like, what you guys are embarking on is a lot of builders to talk to. That's the goal. Like, you're doing client work. One day, we'll be doing our own work. We'll jump into a sec. You guys reverse that around a little bit.
We definitely did.
So then, this first project, how did you identify? Like, because I mean, this topic is popular amongst a lot of builders who want to learn. You know, you guys have done a lot of learning, but like, yeah, how did you identify that property? Yeah, because that's always the big leap. It's like once we commit, we're in.
Yes.
So how did you identify that property, and then what were you planning on doing to it?
Well, I think first and back then, our mindset was very like, we want to be
naive.
Yeah,
Like,
we were very
didn't
naive. Mate, we're only going back 18 months, but
Yeah, we didn't really know too much. We sort of just said, we pretty much got done with the course. We were about 6 months in, and it was a 12-month course. And we found 6 month stage, we were like,
let's
let's
do
something.
something.
Because you
Like,
see like a lot of people in the course have
just
been doing it for
talking
2
about it.
years, and everyone's talking about it. And we were just hungry. We just, we wanted to do something. So come 6 months, we were like, let's rock and roll. So then we started hounding agents 24/7.
Yep.
Just
I think-
getting familiar with suburbs and all that.
And
kind
we
of
were
stuff.
really driven then, as naive as we were, to be a developer, I think, and only do our own projects. I
Which
think
is now
when we first touched
switched.
base with you, we were like, no, we don't do client work. We just do our own developments.
That's right.
But
which
you
is-
quickly learn about cash flow.
Which I laugh at now. But
Yes.
So, yeah, that's sort of
Yeah.
what drove it. We were like, nah, we're just going to get our own site,
Yeah.
flip that, and we'll just do that.
Yeah. And how did that one go? From memory, went well. A lot of lessons.
A lot of lessons.
Okay. What
Could
were
have
some
gone,
of those
could have gone
lessons?
better. Definitely could have gone worse.
What were some of the major challenges that came up with that project?
There was a fair few. but
Fair
ma-
few, like just on it was a development really, so probably the sales end
Okay.
component, which is last, right, and we just pushed that right to the
Right,
end,
okay.
and sort of when it needed to sell, went right. How are we going to sell this thing?
Okay.
But again, it's probably
We sort of had a process in place, and we were
Yeah.
doing things, to get the ball moving and whatnot. But we thought it was just gonna. There was a couple sales in the area, and we were like, "We're on." Like,
It'll
this
just
thought it was just gonna happen.
Exactly, it will
Yeah.
happen, and it sat,
Like-
sat there for like 6-7 weeks, and obviously we've how much
longer. I
was it?
think it nearly went 10 weeks or so. Like we
Yeah.
thought,
So we've got holding
you
costs
know,
and everything, and we're going.
You think it's going to sell, right? So yeah, back to just probably we just went in head first, and like we got it done, but.
Yeah, we dug the
Like
hill.
plenty
and
of lessons. Like we could sit here for the next hour, to be honest. But like we'd never done a project before that big. We'd never done client work that big. So we were figuring out everything as a company.
Okay,
as
I haven't done a project like that. So
Yeah.
maybe one day. But talk me through what was the first when you bought it. You're like, cool, let's go. What was the first obstacle you guys hit?
One thing would probably, I think we were sort of rushing to a degree.
Okay.
And maybe, before settlement, sort of getting early access to the property so you can get all your consultants through. That was the one thing we learned straight away. Was
Off the
we,
bat,
off the
literally.
bat was we didn't have anything in the contract to say that we could get early access to bring our designer through and all that kind of stuff, which is absolutely key because
Critical.
when you settle, you want to start. Whereas we settled and then we had 2.5 months before we could even
We had
start.
60-day settlement, and they, well, we might get into it, but they pretty much said no early access.
Yeah, again, we didn't have it in the contract, right? So
That was learning. That was like 24
Straight
hours
off the
after we'd
bat.
signed the contract. Went, beauty, let's get the designer in. And they went, hang on. And then Jay and I are on the phone going, what? So literally 24 hours less after we'd signed the contract, first learning, just bang, like a ton
That's-
of bricks.
oh, sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't even
that'd be
see that.
big.
Am I touching that?
And yeah, probably first challenge then head on was we were going, okay, this isn't our home or our renovation.
Mm-hmm.
What does Ashmore need? Who's the clientele?
True.
Who are we selling
That's
this
another
to?
big thing.
And two tradies just jumping in head first. We're just trying to come up with that, right? Like bouncing off each other. What
Some
does
gold
Ashmore
taps,
need?
some white paint.
Yeah, bedroom wise, bathroom wise. Yeah, so that was like probably the first challenge.
Okay.
Head on. So, but yeah, plenty of learnings, but
And there was just little things along the way as well, and whatnot. But that
glad
was,
we did it though. You can't teach what we learnt
Mm-hmm.
in a classroom at university. You can't teach it unless you do it.
Yeah, the
Everyone
amount we
knows-
learnt from that, it was, it was insane.
Throwaway line, but you hear it a bit, but it's 100% very true.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, that was
Okay.
that was the first one, really.
Yeah,
All in.
I was trying to think of a couple others, but
So that project happened, and then you thought, let's keep doing these. This is good. And then what was the light bulb moment realization there?
I think it probably came maybe a couple months prior to selling.
Yeah, probably on the back end of the project.
That we thought, we probably need to transition and do, again, we were young, well, we're not that young, but we're young in the space and whatnot, trying to figure things out on the fly. Yeah, we were green. Probably a couple months prior to finishing, we're like, we need a transition. And that's sort of when we're going, okay, new direction. We need to start going after clients, getting some client work. Obviously, cash flow is huge.
Yeah.
The man over here is all about accounts, cash flow, invoicing, so stressing a little bit. So was I, to be fair, but that's when we sort of made
the back end of that project over a couple of months, we need to change direction here.
Yeah.
What is that? What does that look like? Where do we want to be? Yeah. I suppose, and we just navigated through that. Plenty of late night phone calls, early morning phone calls. Building was our passion. And we had a lot of people throughout that project say, "Oh, do you guys do client work?" And we were like, "Nah, don't even, don't talk to us.
Don't even entertain that thought."
Yeah, which I just shake my head out, to be honest, looking back at now, because we thought we were just going to be, this big developer and retire at 25. But we soon realised that wasn't going to be the case. But yeah, building, we went back to our passion, and we like dealing with people. We like relationships, and
this might be a very naive question, but when you realise that it wasn't going to be the case, why not?
Purely for us, we didn't have this massive financial backing. So the biggest one for us was it is so obvious. All your money goes in, and you pay everyone else, your entire team, and then we have to hope that we sell for X amount to make Y amount. Yeah. It's development, right? That sounds so obvious, but that project went on. You don't get payday for 12, 18 months. And as I said, we had sort of, within 24 hours, we realised we couldn't get early access, so the design couldn't start until end of settlement. Okay. So we had lost 2 months right there. Yeah. And that pretty much just lost time from there. So, plenty, but you might have others. That was one of the main ones. Just being honest, from a financial point of view, we went,
that was massive.
Okay, we can't, with where we're at in life right now, and as a builder and business, we can't go 18 months every time and wait for payday. Yeah.
And I think we needed more experience as well, straight off the bat.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Experience helps you to mitigate blind corners.
100%.
Yeah. And we had very little experience in that space when we dove in head first. So, that was probably... The main one was that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That sets a bit of a background, groundwork for just who these guys on the podcast.
Pretty in depth, but there you go.
I appreciate that. I think a lot of listeners would be like, "Oh, that's good to hear that." Not everyone just gets it easy and gets the silver spoon and
it wasn't easy.
Walk around
it was a grind.
It was a grind.
Crocodile shoes and
it definitely wasn't like the one we look back on and go, "Oh, that set us up," and here we go from there. We survived. Yeah. The sun comes up, but I definitely was telling myself that many times there. But
just one more day. Just one more day. Yeah. So Andre sent you guys through some points there, and I love what you guys filled out, and that's what I'm keen to jump in with you guys. The first one you've got here. So highlighted as a heading, and then I'm keen to have you guys break it down for me where your thoughts come from on this. You said here, the work that you do attracts more of the type of work that you do.
Yeah,
pretty much.
What do you mean by that?
I was on a the roofer that looked after our first project. He was probably 3 years into his business, and it was pretty open conversation. He was just telling me, everything he's learnt along the way about business and they were just maybe a year in front of us. And he said something that just literally sunk in, and I called Harry straight away, but he said, he's like, if you just keep chasing the small project and you're just chasing revenue, so anything that comes in, you're just grabbing and you're going to continue to attract that, because the client that comes in and wants a deck done, who's he going to offer? Hey, you want a deck done as well? As soon as he said that, because he said he made a shift in backing himself, putting himself out there and going for bigger jobs. And then he started getting them, bigger clients and whatnot. And those clients have, mates that have got a bit of money as well. So that's where we sort of
made a pivot, I suppose.
Made a big pivot, yeah, rather than just... And don't get me wrong, like when we made the transition to client work, like we wanted work. We needed it. But we were turning away stuff because we were like, you know what, this is like long... We weren't thinking short term, like money in, money in.
Yeah.
We were thinking long term.
And so just prior to that epiphany, what sort of projects were you doing? What were the projects you were accepting to...
Well, I suppose what Jay just said, that conversation he had with our roofer was the light bulb moment, because we went on the project side. We're just doing decks, smaller renos where people want, like, you know, painting done, some electrical works done, update the deck, like new, like fence, like
Just
landscaping,
rubbish work. Not rubbish work, but
roofing, some small carpentry stuff, carports, decks, just all that little stuff. Okay. And as Jay touched on, they talk to their neighbours, and the work you do attracts more of that work that you do. Oh, exactly. So we're like, well, hang on, we're just getting... The phones were going off, the leads were coming in. It was just those sorts of projects.
Yeah.
And we were like after that conversation, Jay just touched on with our roofer, we just looked at ourselves and went, well, what are we going to... Are we just doing decks and carports for the next 5 years? No. So unless...
So what was the project? What were the projects... If we go back to that stage, because that epiphany is a key milestone for you guys, what at that stage were the projects that you really wanted to be getting?
So we've sat down and we've, you know, got a long-term vision of sort of where we want to be and whatnot. And once you set your sort of 5-year goal or whatever, you've got like a map to how you're going to get there. And we had a map. Like we knew where we wanted to go. We knew what we wanted to be doing, and doing that smaller stuff just wasn't going to cut it. So
so we wanted to get in. We at the same time we want to be doing high-end residential work, renovations and new builds, with A grade, what we considered A grade architects.
Okay.
That's
a big
was what we wanted to do.
Contrast there.
100%. So that's what we went. Well, that's what we wanted to do. Just saying yes to decks and fences and all the rest of it, which was great work for us. It kept us busy. It was profitable. We met some great clients, and formed our team along the way. Okay. We just went, something's got to give if we're to get to the high-end renovations. So that was...
There's nothing wrong with that smaller stuff as well.
Nothing wrong with it at all. We needed it.
Wasn't.
So we then at the same time went, well, there's only sort of... It was hard. One way to go about this. We need to shift gears here, or completely change lanes to get into that space. And we started saying no to the smaller stuff that came in, and people, oh, what? Oh, you did John and Leanne's. That was a great job there. Can you not do my debt? And was, look,
mind
sorry.
you, we needed the work. We were like, but we were just confident of where we wanted to go, that we were just like, no.
I imagine that must have been quite hard.
It was, because we still needed work. We still needed...
we had stuff to pay for,
We had stuff to pay for. We had to pay ourselves. We got families. But we just... You could call it a gamble, but it was like there was a method to it. Yeah. And we started saying, all right, we're going to finish this job. Yeah. And then we're saying like no to anything that comes in.
Okay.
And we're going to target the high-end space, which probably leads us into what we might
which we had a plan
next.
to it, right? Yeah.
So from there, we then put together a list of architects that we thought, from doing some research on Instagram, that we didn't put... Not everyone made the list. We sort of had to... This was us, so it was very personal. We had to like their work and say, we want to do that.
Okay.
Who's done it? Who's built it? Let's follow the builder, because we like what they've built. How do they operate? And then who is this architect there on the list? So we ended up, just building a list of architects.
Just prior to that, taking that action, because that takes some serious sit down and focus. Yeah. Was there a mindset shift that you went through, or that you had to? Because that's doing and taking on that small stuff, to saying no. I imagine a few times. Yes. And going days, weeks, possibly months.
Months. It was months.
Where you're saying no.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah.
I think. What was going on upstairs in your mind?
Plenty, but
yeah. I think it was that was a huge moment with the roofer that really just we're
resonated
driven,
with
we're
us
hungry,
heavily.
Like we know where we want to go. I don't know, just that conversation was just a light bulb.
But yeah, it was very challenging. There was some like questions in there, like, well, okay. I'd call Jay and say, "Oh, Jay, well, we go sit down with ABC Architect. They've been going for 10 years and look at all this magnificent stuff they do, and they build with this builder and that builder and this builder. It's $1 million projects. Like, oh, they're not, like, we'll just get brushed off there." And it was just back and forth of that. So, like, limiting beliefs, doubting ourselves. We go, what are we going to show them, a carport? And, like, you know, they're doing this.
Yeah.
But that was the beauty of doing our first project as well. Even though it was a massive learning, but we were able to take that to our, even though, you know, it wasn't crazy and what the architects were doing were 100 times better than what we could show them, but it was still a project at the end of the day saying we are capable. Have a look at this.
Yeah. So there's definitely, I think the words is limiting belief. Yeah. 100%.
So that limiting belief there, because that's something I think most human beings, 99% of human 100%. Beings struggle with.
Yeah.
And that imposter syndrome.
Yes.
You know, sure, the saying says fake it till you make it, but sometimes like you're too scared to even go in there and fake it because you could just look an absolute fool. Yeah. That's the narrative that gets played in your head sometimes. How did you overcome that? And how did you overcome that negative belief or that negative feedback of, oh, we haven't done it, we don't really have, we don't have $1 million to projects to prove, we don't come from some high pedigree background, we don't all that. How did you work through that?
I think we were just hungry and driven to be better.
And I think we just bounced off each other and went, well, we're not going to know that we're pushed into that corner if we don't go and put ourselves out there on the chopping block and put ourselves in front of architects that we want work from, or we'll just die wondering. And we leave no stone unturned. That's a pretty big motto of ours, both of us. We're pretty hungry and determined, and we wanted to get to high-end work. Okay. And we knew that, that's a doubt and a limiting belief, and it could happen, but we won't know if we don't go and put ourselves in the arena.
All they're going to say is no, right? Like, no.
And that's happened. And that's happened. It's happened.
We've had architects laugh at us and all that kind of shit. It is what it is. But we've reached out to,
I think I counted
over 150 architects.
Okay.
Easily. We've met personally, like face-to-face, 100 over. Just because we wanted that face-to-face. We didn't want a Zoom call or anything like that, but it's not the same as meeting someone face-to-face. So,
But it's really important to identify that. If you think of, okay, we don't have this, we don't have this, we don't have this, but what do we have? Okay, we have the two of you, and we have your personalities, and we have your drivenness. You have that project you've done, the lessons you've taken from that. Okay, how do I fill as many cups with this?
And with that what you just said there is exactly what we, as I said, we just had to put ourselves in the arena. We reached out to 10 or 20. Not all of them reply. We arranged 7 or 8 meetings from those 20. This is initially. Yeah. And we very quickly then worked out, after doing a couple, that, okay, people are connecting with Jay and Harry, not sort of
what we've done.
What was that like? Because that's another huge epiphany.
Yeah. It was weird at the start because that didn't even come into conversation, really.
Yeah. So we've never been asked about our experience or anything like that. Even with meeting these big architects, they've never once gone, hey, what have you done? Like, it's never even come into the conversation. But we were talking about it the other day. I don't know. We've never thought of it.
So because that I find fascinating, and it's such a false belief kicker, where it's like, they didn't ask you, show me your rap sheet. Which we wouldn't, don't get me wrong, we were like, far out, we're going to meet these guys, like they're pretty big architects. We're showing them this one thing, but then straight away we picked up pretty quick. We were like,
okay.
And then from there, we was like, we need a face-to-face. Like, we want a face-to-face. We don't want to do Zoom. Like, we shut down Zoom meetings. We'll come up to Brisbane and do face-to-face.
100%. And there were some nervous car rides that we had, like a day stacked in Brisbane where we might be meeting like 6-7 architects that like do
how many
awesome
shirts do you
work.
There was a few change of clothes.
Yeah, but there's some nervous car rides, right? Like
Yeah.
we're going, like back to the limiting beliefs. It's like we're human. It still creeps in, but
Totally.
The more you do it with anything, the better you get and the more confident you get.
It makes you feel better. I once went for a meeting in Brisbane. It was like very early days, any sort of sales role, and I was just so nervous. I reversed into the light post on their front driveway, and then he was busy leaving, and he was like, "You right, mate?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm sweet." Just smashed
What are you
the
talking
right
about?
side of my tail.
oh no,
It was so embarrassing, but it's
well,
like,
it's
man, I
the
can't get
story
worse than
behind
that.
it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But what Jay said, the more you do, we started to find that like
we just be ourselves.
connected with architects, that like our experience didn't come into it. We could just be ourselves. We felt we shared like similar values.
Yeah.
Couple of them even said, you know what, you boys just need one, and I'm willing to sort of jump on with you. You just need one
So
with me.
you had people articulate that.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
was like that.
That's
was a huge,
amazing.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a huge. That was another probably turning point when we sat down with this big architect and he was like,
Probably the biggest one we'd sat down with.
yeah, and a lot of architects as well look at us and go far out. Like that was me when I was younger. So they're like, they resonate with that.
Yeah.
And when we had an architect say that, we're like, he hasn't asked for anything from us or anything like that, but he knows we just need one.
Yeah.
He can, by talking to us, he knows that we're capable of doing it, but he knows we just need one. Because as soon as you have one with a good architect, it literally just catapults from there. So it's massive.
Yeah. But what you're describing there, which resonates so much with what I believe and what we believe here, is that idea of the personal connection. And once you can connect, there's a feeling there. And what I'm gauging from what you're describing there is this architect, he can feel himself in your shoes.
100%,
I've been there. He can feel your hunger. He can feel you guys would probably take this more seriously than if I gave it to someone who's done it 20 times already.
Yeah. Correct. Yes.
That's
Which is, that was a
That was a massive one for us. We were just like, okay, and that was pretty. It was early on, ish.
Yeah.
And we just went. He's just like, he's right. Okay, and we weren't going in. It's hard, right? Like you pretty much like. Let's be honest. We were going in wanting work and an opportunity, but you're not sitting
not
down and
screaming.
saying that, right?
More
Like,
just have a
hey, thanks,
conversation,
JP. We're a builder. This is us. What do you got?
Yeah.
I'd love to sit down and say that.
Talk me
but-
through that conversation, because I think
Yeah.
a lot of guys that I mentioned to, hey, reach out to some architects.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you've got us backing you and you're presenting really well. You just need to have that one conversation to face to face. You know? Talk me through how you engage in that conversation. What are you saying? Because you're not saying, what work do you have for me?
Exactly.
be
We more just wanted to. We went with the mindset of just connecting with them, which we wanted to do, because we don't even. If we don't connect with them, we don't want work from them, because it's going to be a long and painful process if we don't connect with that architect, and we get a project from them. So we more.
It was just, to be honest, we were just going there just to have a general conversation. There was nothing, like obviously we wanted work, we needed work, but
Which I think deep down they know that too, right? They're like, okay, who are these guys? They probably
If
go
you're
on the
in business,
website
you want work.
beforehand
That's
and
just-
go,
yeah.
builder, they've reached out to me. I'm meeting with them. Like there's like, all right, we don't need to chat about them wanting work. That's what they want. Let's talk. And we found, like all the meetings were pretty much like that. It was more we wanted to connect with them and have a conversation.
Did you find, again, this is like limiting beliefs and the perspective that you can have, because I'll talk to builder and recommend you should reach out to just a handful of architects in your area. You know, you don't have to reach out to 150, but just take some level of action. And some will say, nah, I don't look needy. And it's like, well, what about the perspective of looking like you're hungry,
it
like you're
differently,
eager, like you're willing to do what it takes.
Exactly.
Like if you thought, and I'm just thinking, hearing from what you guys are saying there, it sounds like once you have that epiphany of it just takes one, all of a sudden it doesn't seem this monstrous thing. We have to get all this work in. We have to build this company. It was like, just need one.
Yes.
Now the goal seems so much more attainable.
100%. Yeah.
And then also what you said there in terms of connecting means that I'm not going in to win. I'm not going in to try and be this smoke and mirrors and sell. And I'm just going in to see if we connect. If we don't connect, that's an easy easy to say, scratch it.
Yep.
We didn't connect there. Move on.
And that happened plenty of times too.
Okay.
Driving back from Brisbane, going,
Well,
we just did 5 meetings and didn't connect with all 5 of them.
Okay.
Should we be doing this? Is this the right thing to be doing?
Right.
But we learn a lot.
just
Like
kept
all the
persisting.
meetings, the more we did it, we learnt how to hold ourselves. You know, don't have a conversation and let it fun. Now it's just easy to.
In that motion there, took me through some of the conversations that you no doubt would have had where it was like, been doing this, where 70 meetings in, where 3-4 months in, you know, connecting with some, definitely not all.
Haven't seen a lead.
Haven't seen a lead, haven't seen anything seriously fruitful.
Yeah. That's
was
probably
that
the
like?
most, was another pretty big hurdle, really, because we were keen for work. And you know, at the start, architects, go meet, connect with some, don't connect with others. And then it gets to the stage where we literally did have that conversation where it had been 3 or so months and we've gone, okay,
Is this working?
is this working? Like, we're keen, we think we're doing the right thing. We haven't seen a lead.
But I think at the
Yeah,
start
it's
we also
persisting.
had the mindset of like just continue showing up.
Yes.
Just and before we even started doing that, it was like we only need one. If we just continue to show up every single day, something is going to come. And mind you, it took a long time, but
We just stuck at it. Persistence, I think. And architects, back to reaching out to architects, like not everyone replies. It was an email. Some were a cold phone call. We pretty quickly learnt what worked for us was emailing. If not, then 2 months later, maybe an appropriate time. Like, we didn't want to get in front of their face as much as we did. We didn't. And then sometimes maybe a month or 2 after that second email, if nothing, we found a phone call to a direct number. We could then relate, oh, did you get these emails I've sent you? You had versus a cold phone call, we found pretty quickly, you never know what someone's in on the other end of that phone
totally.
call, right?
They
What
have a
morning
bad
they've
morning,
had,
they could have-
exactly.
stuck in
Totally.
traffic, something's happened personally. You never know. So we found pretty quickly we just got cold responses from a cold call versus, okay, we'll persist maybe with over 4, 5, 6 months. They haven't replied to 2 emails over 5 months. All right. Now we have a reference point when they do pick up that phone call. Hey, it's Harry from Ellson. This is me. Hey, have you got my emails? Oh, like they might have probably deleted them, but it's a starting point. And we found that worked
a little bit
really
warmer.
well.
You're not
It's
cold
a
off
bit
the bat.
warmer. I've got some facts because I have sent them emails. It's probably deleted, but it's not the point where then Ellson, Harry or Jay is in front of them again in their mind and you've got them on the phone call.
Yeah.
And then they say, hey, nah, like, what do you want? Yeah, let's meet. Let's do that, you know?
Because they're flat out, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not
Oh,
like
totally.
some of our best architects we followed up like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And they've gone, all
And
right,
then
let's
got
get
in
a
front
face
of
to
them.
face, and we've hit it off like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we were just kept showing up. But mind you, there was a lot of learnings in how to actually reach out to an architect.
Okay.
And how to, like Harry was just talking about.
In terms of
Like,
like
we
what
went-
you put in the email, what do you say? What
Oh,
Exactly,
I'd
and
love
like,
to
do
see
you
the
call
first ever
first,
email
email
compared to
first?
what we sent late last
Exactly.
year or something
Like,
like that.
like we learnt very quickly, like how to reach out
Yeah.
to an architect.
Same with the phone calls.
Phone
and
call,
whatnot.
you know, what like
It's I'm glad that we're fleshing this out because a lot of people be like, yeah, I sent emails out. It's like one time,
Yeah, exactly.
and you sent how many? Even if you sent 50, one time, you know, there's no follow up. There's no long term play.
Yeah.
You
And a
know,
massive-
willing to wait a month, willing to wait 2 months, following up with a call.
It's all long term,
Another
right?
call.
You plant the seed now.
Yeah.
it's not going to sprout.
We
straight
had
away.
I think we both had it written in the diary or up on the wall. I did at one stage was at those times when we were in the trenches, we had follow up and follow through.
Yeah.
And that was a non-negotiable for us. It wasn't even, sometimes it did feel like a chore, but that was just massive. So get up every morning, open the diary, follow up and follow through. And it was like, that's what I'm doing today. When did I last contact these 10 architects?
Yeah.
I'm following up. I'm going to follow through with it.
So we're like
Both
spreadsheet
of
and
us.
everything. It was all
Yeah.
everything was systemized. Everything like massive spreadsheet. When did we contact them? Blah 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 blah. But a little what Harry was touching on, where like follow up and follow through. I think why that just sunk in so much is we went to a seminar in Brisbane, just a random one. We were like, stuff it. Let's go to a seminar. It was on a Tuesday or whatever it was. Mark Boris and a few other people were presenting, and we didn't take much from pretty much a lot of stuff on. There's a
UI
lot of,
roles,
crap on there is right because
Yeah.
they're trying to sell their courses and all that kind of
Totally.
crap, right? And then Mark is on at
think
the
I know the
end
one you're
trying to
talking about.
spit fire about
Yeah.
The economy and everything. But this one bloke that was up on stage, he just. Well, I mean, he was yelling and everything, and we were sitting there going far out. But his thing was like, you can't just
Get anywhere.
You're not going to get anywhere if you just send one email.
Yeah.
They didn't get back to me. It's too bad.
Yeah.
He was pretty much like follow up until you get a line in the sand that says, no, go away. It's like, all right, sweet, no dramas.
Yeah.
So from there, that was like out of the hour and a half or 2 hours,
We
that was
got
the biggest takeaway we took
One.
from that was, mind you, there was others, but this was the massive one that was like,
And it helped us when
Yeah,
you're not
so-
getting a lead, you're connected with architects, you're waiting, you just got to keep showing up, keep doing it. And we wanted to, right? Because we knew, again, you got to keep in mind the end goal of we wanted high-end renovations. We wanted to get into that resi space we wanted to get into with architects. So, and some of the ones, I'm probably fast-forwarding a little bit, but some of the ones we've now seen opportunities from and we're working through with and have kicked off the most with relationship-wise with the architects. Couple of them, it was the 4th or 5th follow-up over 6 months. Like, they're busy, right? The last probably thing they're really thinking of when they got an established business.
Who are these young fellas
like,
reaching out
what is
to?
this like? I was like, what? I don't need a builder. Why are you coming to me? And a lot of people said that. They said,
10
why?
builders.
But a lot of people liked that. That's one thing we noticed. They went, wow, like, you guys are a builder reaching out to us, and you followed up consistently, and here we are. And
I'm
that
really
got
glad
mentioned when
to
we
hear
met
you
with
say
them.
that.
That got mentioned and noted, and a lot of people, like the ones we connected with, noted that and said, "That's this the 5th time you did it well. That's what got us here." And we're just like, "Okay, there you go."
and we've hit it off with them the best.
Yes.
So if we didn't follow up like that 4th or 5th time, we'd never be,
Well, we wouldn't be talking
have these
about-
opportunities on our desk.
Yeah.
But just because we just kept going until we had that line in the sand and kicked it off with them. Yeah, like crazy. So
Epic. And so, when did you start to see fruit? For how long were you
probably
just following up and following through and having to, somewhat psych yourself up?
Probably a good 4 months.
Yeah,
Which is a
probably
long
about
time, right?
3-4 months where we were
12,
just
16
battling.
weeks.
And mind you, in that time we were just getting random stuff, but it didn't align with us.
And so you had to say no.
Yeah, so we were just like, no,
Yeah.
we don't want it as much as we wanted it.
Because we knew if we were saying yes to that, it
Yeah.
would have been fantastic. We wanted
But we were like, what was around the
Money,
corner? If
Totally.
we get tied up
and that
with
takes you out of the
this-
office from following up and following through.
correct.
Yeah.
So there was some long days there, weeks.
But it was good to have both of us.
Yes.
Because sometimes I'm going, mate, like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing? And then his head's screwed on and he goes, no, pull your head in. But vice versa. Like, it's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
the same when he's having a bad day.
Yeah.
It's usually one or the other, which is good. It's like a relationship, right? One's up, one's
Literally.
down. And when I'm up, he's down or whatever, he calls me. I'm like, mate, I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm like, pull your head in type thing. It's all good, blah, blah, blah. We're on the right track.
Yeah. Get the goals open. Think of the why.
Yeah.
This is what
Remember
we're doing.
the why.
We want to get into the high-end renovations and new builds. And this is why we're doing it.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's right. Okay. Thanks, Jay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we go deeper on that why do you want to be getting into, why does Ellson want to be getting into the higher end new builds?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Ideally, we want to have like a 50-50 mix. So 50% client work and 50% of our own
Developments.
work. Why?
I think a big one is back to relationships, and I think in those, like building aside, that's sort of like that's sort of like the easy part for us, like with the team we've got and Jay's experience and that sort of thing. But I think what we really liked is we like forming relationships with people, and that's whether that's the architect, but most importantly, like the clients, and to be in that position to be the client's preferred builder, to build, like, it's a lot of money to build their dream renovation or their development or like their dream home. I think appealed to us more to really, I suppose, form that relationship with them and be part of the journey from start to finish, and build something for someone to look back on, like to see a smile on their face. And I suppose the privilege to be selected as that builder and to deliver. I think we just found there was more like it just means more to us versus like a carport or a deck. And there's no disrespect to people doing those little works or the little works, but it's very in, out, like, I don't know, like
you don't get
if you got a carport
opportunity to build
exactly.
The
like if for example, if you got like a carport done, are you getting friends around and they're saying, "Oh yeah, wow, really good carport. Who built this?" And that's no disrespect. That might happen, but that's very unlikely. Rather than we'd love nothing more than someone does their dream renovation, and people notice that more. Like if you bring people into a renovation versus the little works you've done, they're going to, wow, who built this? Who designed this? What was that builder like? That was a massive one for us. It was just more part of, I suppose, our DNA, and what we wanted to do was deliver.
But then sort of like branching on from that, we also love building relationships. As we were speaking to more, like, what is it? Your net worth is your network or something like that. What is it?
Your network is your net
one of them.
worth.
Yeah. So like we want it as big as possible. We want to meet as many as people as possible because you might call on them in 5 years' time or whatever. But I think we also like the idea of you getting into these $1 million bills, $3, $4, $5 million. These clients have money. They also dabble in developments as well, and their mates dabble in developments as well, and that kind of thing. So we also liked the idea that, you know, building a strong relationship, building their house, but then it also was another avenue for us to go, you know, we like doing our own developments. We do some things on the side that, you know what I mean? If you've got a great relationship, you've just built their house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of them, they're all got their fingers in pies, right? They're spending $3, $4, $5 million on their house. It was just more opportunities as well. So building a strong relationship with them is then just like sort of just catapults you into another thing. Like you get talking and everything. I think that was a huge one as well. Yeah,
and back to like we like building, right? We like building things. We find in that sort of higher end space, it's a bit more detailed.
It's not slap up and go.
You know, using your hands and fingers, like actually some care, precision,
really crafting. Rather than slapping.
That interests us. We want to get into that space. You probably, you open yourself up to a few more maybe challenges, but like we like that space. There's a bit more passion in that, and we care a bit more in that space rather than just like slapping something up, so to speak. So all that's probably the main drive.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
really good to hear. Yeah, the relationship definitely. If like that being such and the gratitude that you guys get from being able to build those relationships. It is and would be a lot harder to build that relationship with someone when you're doing carport.
Yes.
Versus going through helping them maybe, get involved during the design phase, just consulting all the way through building. You've changed their life. A carport, again, no disrespect, maybe doesn't.
No, and that's
just some people might change a life, but
direction, everyone's on their own
exactly.
path,
There's no disrespect intended at all, but that was just our view for our business, for Ellson, for Jay and I, and where we wanted to go. And that was like as brutal as it is. That was exactly our view, and we wanted to be a massive part of someone's life-changing renovation or new build from start to finish.
One thing we briefly touched on in a previous conversation. I'm not sure if I posed the question or we just naturally gravitated towards that, but this mindset that you guys have of show up, firstly show up, and then follow up and follow through, and just that mindset and. Like Goggins talks about the calluses, building the calluses in the mind.
Yeah.
Do you have that mindset just in business, or do you take that into
everything?
Probably life.
Family, kids not sleeping, kids crying, to sport, to recreation? Where else does that?
Yeah, I think it's for both.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm speaking for both of us, but in life, I think, just show up and.
We like challenging ourselves
get
as
it
well,
done.
Right?
Get
I know
uncomfortable.
we had a conversation and you like throwing yourself into things as well. But yeah, just challenging ourselves and putting ourselves in the deep end and seeing if we can, come through. Hopefully better.
What's one example of that?
So we did we just got chatting. We've always wanted to do a marathon or whatever. And I was like, well, GC50's coming up. Let's do it. And we were maybe 3 or 4 months out. it was sort of just, it was literally like a 8:30 p.m. I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see, you know, GC50 coming up in December. And I was like,
we'd never run over like 12Ks probably between us. Like,
well, Harry plays AFL, so he's pretty fit, right? And then, and Harry was like, stuff it. So we bought the tickets.
Then
we
we're
did it.
accountable.
Started
Once we
running.
got the tickets, it was
It
on.
was like it was on.
on.
Yeah.
And yeah, Harry smashed it. But it got a hold of me. It humbled me pretty quickly, which I wanted. That's what I wanted from it. I didn't want to just, you know, cruise through it and be like, you know what, that was not easy. But then I thought it was going to be easy, and it smashed me.
Yeah.
He thought it was going to be hard, and it was easy.
Oh,
I didn't do
easier.
it. And then the following year, we both bought tickets straight away. Next day, we did it again. I didn't go that year. Just my knee and whatnot was going on. Harry did it, and you can talk on that.
Well, yeah, it leveled me pretty
right.
much. So that's
the
just
second year leveled you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So what Jay touched on, like 3-4 months out, like minimal. First year we did it, minimal prep, bit more chaotic. Just jumped in and let's just see how this goes. Jay said I did it easy. I definitely didn't do it easy. Just maybe easier.
Yeah.
And got it done. We were like motivated to go again. So like 24 hours later, they had a sale, get the next year's one, which was only last year, and jumped in again. Was doing it myself, and just I'd done more training, felt better, all the rest of it. Within the first 10Ks of the 50, I just went, the body's not on here. The body hasn't shown up.
Running's weird, right?
Which is the challenge of it, which is
Totally,
like I was uncomfortable. And I was in the trenches at 10Ks in with 40Ks to go going, I just knew. I was just like, the body's not on here. But then like mid-run, I'm questioning. I'm like, I did this last year and it was fine. Like I did less prep last year.
The
I cared less.
going in those places, eh?
I was done.
In
But
100 directions.
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I might do another one day, but like that's it. What Jay said the year before, circumstances completely different, and I got through personally better than what I did last year. I was broken last year.
A lot at the end of the race as well. There's people all shapes and sizes, right? Like I like I think we both do
All
it for the
ages.
mindset. It's like get through.
Yeah.
But there's all ages. There's 80-year-olds. You know, like they were smoking me, and they were going past. But crossing the line and going, sweet, I got through that. And then there's like, you know, all shapes and sizes crossing the line as well, smashing it. I was like, this is wicked. Everyone sort of got through it. Definitely.
So yeah, we like a challenge.
Maybe we'll do one. Maybe we'll all team up. And
Yeah, I reckon.
What was it, the
I'm
canoe
keen.
you got in? Or
The Red Bull. Or
Yeah,
something?
Red Bull Defiance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounded
get a
hectic though, I don't
call
know.
2 weeks before.
I don't know if
There's
I
a
could.
spot. Do you want in?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know about that.
It's like, oh yeah, I forgot I was on the wait list. I haven't trained. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But you got it done, right?
got it done.
Similar, right?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. So yeah.
But that's even a better story, right? Like 2-week call, you weren't even training, nothing. You said, you know what, stuff it, let's do it. And then you did it.
But like your story with the GC50 would be similar to my story, the GC50. I saw it on someone's hat once, and I was like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
And he told me, and I literally in my mind was like, "WTF? Who on earth would go and run that? Is a marathon not long enough?" And then that just played in my head, and then like 3 months later, I was like, "Imagine if I ran that."
Exactly.
Imagine that. Just imagine that.
What
and
a
then
challenge, yeah.
2 weeks later, I signed up. Yeah, it buckled me. It humbled me.
Good.
You got it done?
Got it done, and I loved that. Going into the cave and knowing that you could push through.
100%.
And again, I signed up the next year, and helped a friend do that.
Yeah.
and that was like that felt just as
Unreal.
good.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's you can then take like it's probably like a mental thing for you as a person in your life, right? Like life is going to buckle you at times and throw you anything, business, personal, whatever. But like you can get through it, whether that's your support around you, family, friends, business partner, like anything. I think that's just a big takeaway, and that's our mindset anyway.
Totally.
So, yeah.
I thought that'd be good because that to me really resonated, and I think for a lot of guys out there, for a lot of guys I talk to, builders, especially those that are driven, there's often a lot of commonalities, and they're not just driven in their building company; they're driven in other areas. So that's kind of want to bring that in. But going back to this follow through, 3-4 months. Cool, 4 months comes. Now you're starting to see some fruit. What did that fruit look like? And if we sort of go through that, what now? Even a few months on from there, what's been some of the wins since then?
I think once the tap sort of was turned on, it literally just started trickling through. And I think in maybe November.
Yeah, it was similar, right? Once the tap turned on, we then wanted to put ourselves. The next hurdle was putting ourselves in front of clients. So we're like, okay,
but we liked that from learning everything with the architects. You were like, you know what, this is going to be like, we can do this. It's no problem whatsoever. But yeah, once it was turned on, then I think in November we saw 6 projects that were sort of aligned with us.
Good sized projects.
Good sized projects as well. We didn't want to be doing like 200,000-300,000 or anything like that. We wanted to do bigger stuff. But the first one was sort of pretty much like full internal refit of a 2-story building, quite pretty high end on the water. And then from there, the projects just got a little bit bigger. Mind you, we were getting other stuff, but we didn't want that. And the projects we're sort of looking at the moment are just high end renovations.
Yeah, there's one new build in there. But yeah, high-end renovations. Like once the tap was turned on,
so you're starting to see that the stuff that you were
which was after, and crazy, we sort of was a pinch myself moment. We're going, oh, okay, and like we're the only builder.
Wow.
Like so, we saw on that like we saw opportunity in there is a heap of really good builders out there that we admire, we look up to. They do some really good stuff, and people would probably pick them over us. But those builders, we saw a little window in those builders will be booked out for the good ones, 12 months, 8 months, 6 months plus minimum.
Yeah.
Whereas, hey, this is us. When do you want to start? We can start when you want to start. And people started going, oh, okay, well, we're talking to so-and-so and so-and-so, but they're 9 months away. Like, these guys can start now. So we started to see a little opportunity there in, we can. When do you want to start? We can start when you want to start. Is it 2 months' time?
Yeah.
We're available. And people go, oh, okay, well, there goes the other 2 builders. We'll just deal with you guys and engage you.
And we also gelled with all the clients as well.
And said no to some.
Yeah.
Yes.
May I add? So we're itchy feet. 4 months has gone by.
Met the clients and we're like...
this is the one. How good's this, Jay? Imagine this, imagine that. You get just caught up in it. Meet the clients. It's hard, right? And we just have to say, no, it's just not going to work. Your project will, but like we won't.
But it's amazing to see just everything you've done up until this point, saying no, being yourselves, choosing only architects that you resonate with in terms of character and value and personality. The picture you're painting for me is your grouping. If you think of like target and shooting, your grouping is just getting nice and tight.
100%.
That's what we're aiming for. We're not saying yes to everything.
Yeah, a lot of noise, right? And we just wanted to shut out the noise and just go.
One of the biggest architects gave us that we kicked it off with. Gave us our first lead, and we actually said no to it. And
it was massive too.
He wasn't happy.
No, he loved it.
Yeah.
He said, I won't say the exact words he said, but he's like, I love that from you boys because you know what you want. And he said, why?
Yeah.
He said, before he said that, he was like, why'd you say no to this?
Epic project in an epic suburb.
So why'd you say no?
For where we're at as a business, we also know where we're at.
Yeah.
It was too big for us. It was
technical site. It was 100%. Yeah, it was just...
That was ultimately it. And we were just honest. We're not going to tell someone something like, it would have been epic. In 3 years' time, we'll 100% send us back that project, please.
But it would have been, I think it would have just been a little bit too much that instead of us trying to stretch, it would have been...
It would have stretched us financially, capabilities-wise with the team, our experience, whereas... we realised we would have had to put all our eggs in that one basket and just do that probably one project and say no to all the other hard work we've done as leads come in.
Yeah.
There was multiple factors. All this was in the one, and we got really, really excited. Well, I did.
It was another epic project as well.
And we just said, look, no. And he said, why? He said, come in, see me. And we went and saw him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're like, what are we going in for? And he was like, He's just like, why'd you say no? And we're like, well... should we have said no?
Yeah.
Like, I'm nervous now. I feel like I'm in the principal's office, but this is why we said no. And he was just like, I love that, boys, because you know what you want. All right, let's talk about these 3.
Yeah, right.
And he sent us 3 others
Which
in
blew
like a
us
month,
away. We
which
were
blew us away. We were just like, he's like, what do you want? Told him. He's like, no worries. Keep an eye out. I'll send you 3 this afternoon.
How's that?
And we were just like...
That to me just debunks so many of the myths and the negativity out there that I hear from guys, where it's like, there are good architects and good designers out there that want to work with good people. They're willing to give you a go.
Yeah.
And they want to connect.
Yes,
They're just human
100%.
beings.
Yes, correct.
Just like you.
Yeah.
Just human beings,
Yeah.
just like us. And we're true
That
to
was
ourselves
that
as
was
well.
a big one, because that was it would have been an
And that was the
epic-
first one we'd seen in like 4 months.
And it
So
was-
we're in the back cave, just like, every day is miserable. Like, just, follow up, follow through, keep going through. Oh, what's this? Oh, like, look at this, Jay, print out the drawings.
But we made the decision pretty quick. Like, we
Yeah.
looked at it and we go, yes, you can get
Let's step
you
back.
can get in it, and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. But yeah, we stepped back pretty quick, and we're like, you know what, doesn't align with us right now.
Yeah.
And then exactly, he came up, hey, here's another 2.
He respected it. And
Exactly, and then after that, there was just more leads just kept coming in, and it was more aligning with us, and we were like,
we've seen the most from him, actually.
correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we're looking like starting 2 of them in the second half of this year now.
That's
so
epic.
full circle there.
Full
like,
circle there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
And we reached out to that same architect, back to what we were discussing at the start, like the 5th time we got him, I think.
yes,
So,
Okay.
like, there you go. And now we're talking about, we're working through some stuff with his clients now to start.
That's awesome. So this year's looking very different from last year.
I think that answers it.
but it all takes the second half of this year is because obviously you don't meet an architect and go, here's the job contract.
you start
For a
straight away.
builder,
No
it
way.
takes time,
No way.
right? It takes
Yeah.
6, 12, 18 months sometimes. The second half of this year is going to be pretty busy.
Yeah.
And we live on the Gold Coast, but we also like the idea of operating in Brisbane and on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So we've got Gold Coast project kicking off, which is a pretty epic project. And then, we've got some more projects
3 Brisbane ones.
in Brisbane, which, we've worked. Then again, we're looking at growing our team and whatnot.
The conversations
Completely
now to
changed.
12 months ago were just, completely changed. Like Jay just touched on with, early conversations now of growing the team and whatnot, but all because like projects were the worry, but they're not as much the worry
Now
now
it's just
because of the work
selecting
we've
the right
done.
ones, yeah.
So,
Migrating over to that now. The one point you've mentioned to me in the past is just the importance of, yes, understanding your client, but educating your client from that very first moment. I suppose rather than a question coming up later on, it not answered, and then you're in the corner, you're trying to explain it, and whatever else. Talk me through your mindset around that, and where did that perspective come from? We've got to start educating, and how do we go about educating? What do we start educating on from that first conversation?
Again, I think it was a bit of a learning process as well, but we dove into, a heap of books on building, this and that, listened to a lot of stuff, a lot of podcasts.
listen to a lot of podcasts, even
lot of
yours.
podcasts. Yeah.
Awesome.
With
Yeah,
other
follow your
builders.
stuff.
Yeah.
Brownie points there.
That's why
Yeah.
I got that in anyway.
But it just made sense, right? Like if you don't educate the client on the contract and how it works and how we are going to follow this to build your project, if you don't do that and you get into and variations is a massive one, right? No one understands them. They're a nightmare for everyone. We want to be able to go through the entire build where it's just smooth. Everyone knows what's happening. We know the contract. Obviously, we look at it every day, but they don't. So we can sit down with them for 3 hours even and just go through it. It's going to save you hours and hours throughout the entire build because they know exactly how we're going to be working through their build. Especially, obviously, variations is a massive one. But
trial and error too, right? So like we got some leads, drove to Brisbane, met clients. And we're like, oh wow, like that just felt like a little bit of a waste of time. Is there something we can put in place to get some information from them before we drive 50 minutes an hour up the highway?
Yeah.
Just reading, listening to podcasts again, learning from other builders that share their experiences, going, an initial client questionnaire might be something we introduce to answer 15 odd questions that are important to us as a builder to find out about them. Now,
How do you go about articulating to the client why they should fill it out? Because that's something I find some guys, this is now getting to the rules, so nitty gritty, because there are things like this, as well as things like charging for a quote.
Yeah.
I've come across builders that they go, yeah, I told them that. I said, what'd you tell them? We charge for quotes. I said, you said exactly that. Yep. I was like, well, there's your problem. You've explained nothing of why, not the value.
Yeah.
There are 100 ways you could explain charging for quotes. I've heard of some people where it's like, you're going to pay for these services, the quote's free.
Yeah.
You're going to pay for all this, the fruit of all this labour and work and what we're going to put into it, which you're going to pay for. I mean, again, I'm butchering even that. You're not going to say, pay for it.
Nah.
The quote's free. The fruit, the quote comes out at the end.
Yeah.
You know? So how do you articulate something like that I'd questionnaire when it comes to the prospective client?
Back
Why?
to that, probably like service. So I give them an initial phone call before I send them that to say, hey, this is Harry from Ellson, blah, blah, blah. Just get to know them briefly and say, look, this is what I'm going to flick you through, which will give you an idea, as our next step to proceed with us. I'll get you to fill out this questionnaire. This gives us an understanding about you and your expectations of us as a builder, just to make sure that we're the right fit from the get-go. And then from there, we'll be back in touch and we'll book in a site meeting.
Yep.
And then, so that's just the first one off the bat. It's more of a service, and we just educate, like, this is why I'm sending it to you. Yeah. This is why it's important, and this is how we use it. And there's been ones where they filled out the questionnaire and there's some answers to some questions that we find very important that we then call back up and say, hey, look, we don't think we're going to be able to service your needs as a builder, but maybe try call these guys. So you're still
providing value.
Exactly. Yeah. And then best case scenario, questionnaire is fine. The next phone call is a site meeting.
Yeah.
So
but if they're serious, they're going to fill out the questionnaire.
Yeah.
So the idea was to weed out all the tie, because you get so many tie kickers.
Totally.
That would just want to price match or whatever, which is a pain for any builder. So that, like, we'd send it out and we'd hear no reply. It's like, there's our answer, no problem whatsoever. Yeah. We'd still follow up just to go, make sure,
always.
And then get the line in the sand. But it's just weeds out all the crap. If they're serious, they'll fill it out. It's not too in depth or anything like that. We made sure that it's very easy. Fill it out. Take literally 2 minutes. Done and dusted. But there was heaps of little things we just learned along the way.
On the fly. We found too, though, from the relationship we'd got with architects, by the time a client had worked with, this was part of the method to it all as well, by the time a client had worked through, say, 6, 8, sometimes longer months with their design, and they trust JP, the architect, doing their design, all that trust is there and they love what you've done with them. So then when they say, hey, JP, do you have a builder in mind for this? They're also going to back that decision or advice that you give them. Say, oh, look, it's completely up to you guys, but I do have one. The company's called Ellson. It's Jay and Harry. Look, not many runs on the board, but I think that'd be a good fit. And we found that really, really worked. So then by the time a client had got to us, or I'd called them for that initial call, oh, yeah, JP's mentioned you. Yeah, we've really, he had nothing but good things to say about you and Jay, and he thinks would be a good fit. Look, we'd love to meet you guys. So it's already like, versus a cold client is calling up to kick a tyre kicker. Sorry, back to, we just found that was part of what was really, really important. We're already getting, because we had that relationship with the architect, it sort of held us in a good position for the clients.
So powerful, because it's that time. You need time to build trust.
Yes.
And effectively the architect's doing the time for you, building the trust, and then transfers it over to you guys.
Exactly. Yes. Versus them, like the architect is going, oh, nah, call whoever builder you like, which is fine. That's how some operate. Versus, hey, here's Ellson. Great blokes. I think that'd be a good fit for your architect. There's already that relationship established there. And then they say, let's talk to them, and we'll just talk to them.
Okay. And talk me through as well, now you're in this next phase of, building for some of these jobs. So, and you've said you're growing the team or have grown the team. I take it you guys are not in the tools
No way.
Look, you don't want me on the tools.
Yeah, you don't want Harry on the
If
tools.
I'm on the tools, there's problems.
Yeah, there's dramas.
And I'll create more of them. You don't want me on the tools. I think I said that to one of our clients the other day, that it's like, oh, Harry's here.
enough.
Something must be wrong. I was like, oh, no, nothing's wrong.
So talk me through your two roles in the business today, and what you guys fulfill, and I guess the impact that then has on the business and on the client.
So I manage pretty much everything on site. I manage all the trades, pretty much my background. Initial quoting all the job and everything like that. That's in brief sort of what I do. Pretty much just on site 24/7. And
Pretty much everything on site, Jay, and then everything off site, business related, project related, myself, and then we sort of both do the quoting.
yeah, like the back end, sort of finalising it and whatnot. Just so, again, it's two people, you're not going to miss anything. We're just over absolutely everything. So we're sitting down on Thursday and we're going through one just to make sure we have covered everything. But clients also, that was another point of difference for us, was that we thought about was there's a lot of builders out there that's just one bloke and he might be on the tools or something like that. When's he going to have time to quote? When's he going to have time to invoice? Blah, 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 blah. He's doing that at like 8, 9 p.m. at night.
Yep.
He's going to miss things, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Harry and I, we were saying like, look, this is what we do. Harry's in office. Emails are always going to be responded to 24/7. And then I'm on site all the time as well. So it was just like, and they're not dealing with, say, another supervisor or anything. They're dealing with us.
Yep.
But all the questions, they have access to us 24/7.
And we want and like that personal approach as well. And we'll continue that as we obviously got ambitions to grow and that sort of thing, but we will always, I think, want that personal approach with our clients. But so yeah, and it works really, really well. I feel we can service our clients' needs. Yeah, Jay's across it all on site, and then myself in the back end, and then both across the quoting, and then with our development stuff, we're both sort of doing that as well.
Yeah, we're both deep in that.
Yeah, so
That's it. And you've got something that your your eyes are on for the development side of things.
Yeah, we
always got our eyes on
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
Not particularly at the moment. Couple of things in discussion. We've got other people we work with all that sort of stuff as well, in terms of that we do projects with and that thing. But yeah, there's always conversations and sites being flicked around and whatnot. I suppose it's just a matter of the strategy and timing. So it's not as such like full time sit down and we've got other people we work with, but
Comes back to the team. It's very, very important to have the right team around you and the right good people
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but building a client work and Ellson, that as itself as a builder is our priority at the moment. The developments are definitely on the side, but one day we want to get that sort of balance. Balance right.
Nice.
So,
Epic.
yeah.
And so, for a final question, actually, maybe two questions. First one, what are you looking forward to most? Might be an obvious question, but what are you looking forward to most over the next 12 months?
maybe just building a solid pipeline with unreal clients. That maybe just
securing it probably. Yeah, we're starting to, but yeah.
like a proper pipeline where it's like, also really like the idea of like people just coming to us and want to work with us and will wait for us. So
which will happen.
Yeah, exactly. So probably that, just building out the pipeline and actually having people coming to us going, you're our builder, we're going nowhere else, it's a sick project, it's rock and roll. Would you feel the same?
Yeah, probably just delivering some of these projects. We're working with clients at the moment. They've been a long time coming, and we're not we've started differently, right? So it's not like we've had projects that we've finished, and whilst we're finishing other projects like other experienced builders, you've got more of your pipeline, but you're less concerned. Like getting projects has been our only concern. So it's just I'm really excited in the second half of this year, in the next over the next 6 months, to kick some of these ones off that we've been talking about with clients from 6 months ago, and then I'm pretty keen to grow the team as well and just create a good culture and a place where people want to come to work. So that's probably what I'm most excited for over the next 12 months.
Well, I'd be keen to have you guys on in like 12 months' time.
Absolutely,
And just talk about
yeah.
what were the lessons from this
Yeah.
next,
We're
chunk of
literally
12
learning
months.
every
Be
single
plenty
day.
more.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
learning every single day,
Yeah.
which is epic.
But
The
yeah,
second
that'd be
question
awesome.
is, what would be with the lessons you guys have had over the last 12 months, 12, 18 months, what would be one of the biggest, or maybe it could be two big things that if you were going to do it again, you wish someone had told you? Or if you could tell the guy next to you that's looking at doing something similar, or...
Back yourself.
Yeah. That's probably the biggest one, to be honest. Back yourself.
That's
Believe in
So
yourself.
much under that, but yeah, just
like
you could open that up, but I think the biggest one would just back yourself and have a crack. Would be the biggest one.
yeah, it sounds so
I know.
open, but,
No,
but
no,
that's
but it's
I mean,
just simple, right? Like,
I know at the end of the podcast, but maybe break that down a little bit. When I'd like to get that from both of you. When you say back yourself, what does that look like and mean to you?
pretty much just have a crack, have a go, follow up, show up every single day. I know that's pretty broad, but what's it mean to you?
What would you add, Harry?
yeah, it's probably very
You've
similar
stumped
to
us.
you. Like you have stumped us. We're all
You
talking.
got 12 months to
Yeah.
12 months to write that out.
Exactly, yeah.
Come back next time. Yeah.
But yeah, probably just show up. I think like probably stripping it back, like limiting beliefs. That is a thing. Like it's
Yeah,
real.
100%.
Everyone's human. Oh, why me or why that? And
There's so much. of it
I
as
think
well,
just
right? You
backing
could open
yourself
as a can and it
is
works.
that. Like it's just limiting beliefs. There's plenty of noise out there as well. Just going right back to the start of this, like. Everyone just sees and hears all the good stuff.
Yep.
There's plenty, like everyone's real. Businesses are real. Everyone's
I'm sure, no
human.
doubt, you had a lot of people, like you said, architects laugh at you, but even people like who already knew you, friends, family, maybe, they're going like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like even like when we're 3-4 months in, and the wives are like, "So you got any jobs yet?" And we're like, "No, we don't.
Working on
we're
it."
not paying ourselves or
Yeah.
anything like that." She's just looking at the account, go like this, but
It was a touchy topic for a
yeah.
little bit.
But then it was fun. Like after time, that could actually the amount of work, the grind we were going through.
Appreciate it more too.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Nothing was.
They
given.
weren't seeing you take midday surfs and
Nah,
Nah.
our contractors were, but
Yeah. But
that's another story.
but yeah, probably just limiting to anyone, like limiting beliefs are real, like in our position, to anyone else, reaching out to architects or anything like that. It's okay, but it is a limiting belief. Get sort of another one of ours is get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Be the man in the arena, and have a crack.
Yeah.
You sort of got nothing to lose.
yeah. I'll be really keen 12 months time to do this again. And also what you mentioned earlier, your network is your net worth, and those false beliefs you mentioned, Harry, where there's levels to that.
Yeah.
You've broken through a lot of false beliefs in the last 12 months, and there are going to be false beliefs.
Yeah, we'll continue,
You've got
yeah.
now you don't even know about. You're going to hit in the next 12 months, and you're going to break through those. And then in 12 months' time, look back and go, yeah, we had this false belief.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes. I've had a lot of guys on their growth path. They go, I've got this problem, whatever it is. It's a $10,000 problem. And the guy next to him goes, yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I've got that problem. Yeah, it's costing me $100,000.
Yeah.
And the next guy goes, I got that problem. Yeah, it's a $1 million problem. And then all of a sudden the guy with the $10,000 problem is like, it's not really a problem, is it? It's actually it's opportunity.
Yeah. So we got like get yourself a mentor, someone that's years ahead of you. And I suppose, we've got maybe a couple and whatnot, but that exact thing, like we were going through our development and we were like, we've got
Just
we've got
just
this,
the other day.
we've got this problem. And he's like, he was looking at it as if like, grow up. Like it's pretty much what he was saying. And
Get
he's
a bigger
like,
problem.
He pretty much said what you just
Exactly
like
what you
he
said,
said.
and
Well,
we
this
were
is
like-
this is my problem, and it was just more zeros, right?
Yeah.
But he's a bigger player,
Totally.
and somewhere, he's probably 10 years
but it
ahead
just
of us.
allowed us
but-
to go,
Oh,
it
it's
is
not
all
really
right.
a
Like,
problem.
he's dealing
and-
with more
Yeah.
zeros, and we're just dealing with a
Yeah.
little bit less.
Sometimes-
Same sort of thing,
Yeah.
but
And sometimes that's all you need to hear. It's just someone go,
it's literally all we need
that's
to
just
hear.
fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, one guy I've heard, which is super simple. It's like he just says to his team, especially new recruits in whatever they're doing, you find this really hard, especially if they're showing like a few signs of whinge, maybe, but perhaps they had green flags when they onboarded. He's like, did you think this was going to be easy? No. Okay. You thought this might be hard? Yeah, of course. This is what hard feels like. And all of a sudden it's like, it's okay.
Accepting that.
This grind is okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
4 months of following through, that's part of it. This problem is just a stepping stone. It's part of the growth. It's part of,
exactly.
I have to solve this problem in order to get the win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you've got, that's why we're big on our network as well. Like someone's probably, there's a very good chance someone in our network has dealt with the same problem.
Totally.
My world might be ending one day, but like someone's been through that problem and we can lean on them and it's okay. Yeah.
And your network also, I'm sure you guys have plenty of stories of this as well. Your network could also just be your next opportunity.
100%.
One of the great stories in this
facts.
area would be just in this particular niche.
Yeah.
A builder that I was chatting with who wanted to do developments, and was like, one day. Eventually someone said, no, start doing it now. Like take some level of action and decide we're going to be doing it. And so he did that. Cool. In 12 months, we want to be on our first development. And so taking that mental decision, making that mental decision meant that he just brought it up in more conversations.
Yes.
And within, I want to say a week or a month, he had raised it with an existing client who he was finishing up with a project, and very wealthy client. Client goes, actually, I also want to be getting into some developments.
It's crazy.
Let's do something. And you know what? I'll loan you your money at 5%, and let's do it.
It's crazy.
And he was like, what? And then and then literally within the next month, again, a second time. And so by 12 months' time, he had 2 projects he was involved in, and he's gone on from there. So, you just never know.
Which is awesome.
And you hear that happens. Like you just never know, like who that next handshake is.
Yes.
Who that client is, or like what's beneath them, or who they know. Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of, even architects, there's a lot of people that want to dabble in developments and everything like that. And early on we found, someone told, the more people you can tell, just tell everyone what you're doing. Development's like, just tell everyone. Because everyone's keen on development, doing something, you know what I mean?
Everyone talks.
It's opened heaps of
and there's so many different ways. That's something I've learned as well. Just talking to people and people like you guys, there's so many different ways to go about doing it. Like there's not just
no wrong or right
you
way.
need the cash to go and fund the build and the property and the whatever. You can lend it. You can have a mate. You can have a JV partner.
It's endless,
you can
private
get
finance.
a syndicate. You can private finance. You can
Or
there's
bank.
so many ways.
Yes, there are so many ways.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother topic that opened our eyes up to though. Like we did our renovation at Ashmore with none of our own money. So
There you go.
anyway, that's
that's
another
another
story.
topic.
But like it opened our eyes up
Yeah.
to like you can do a lot, and there's a lot of people willing to sort of get into that space as
It's
well.
all trust and everything, right, as well. So
Trust is huge.
Yeah. So
Well, on that note, guys, thank you for trusting me to ask you questions and sit
appreciate
on
your
the
time.
couch
Thank
today.
you.
thanks for having us.
Pleasure. And want to wish you guys the absolute very best, and looking forward to just tracking your wins and successes.
And
Thanks, mate.
learnings.
Well, and
Learnings,
learnings, definitely,
yes.
definitely
Always
a big part of
learnings.
that.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.